the heart of Houston. It's fun. It's engaging. It's Chattin' with Chelsea. She's daytime's new bestie. Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards. Come back to me.
Hey, besties! It is Feel Good Friday! So glad to have you here for another Chat with Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. So, in Feel Good Friday fashion, we want to make sure you are feeling good and doing right by yourself. You have heard the term, you got to love yourself first before you love somebody else, right? So, we are going to get into that and show you how to make that happen. And we've also got a couple of guys stopping by from brand new hotspot Foxtrap Restaurant and Lounge. They're going to show us why it's a Feel Good Friday spot. Lots to cover today, but let's get into a little Chelsea chat. Okay, who has had a long week? Huh? What about a long day? Huh? Let me tell you, this morning it was something else. It's just, one of those days where you can't get right. You know those days? This was a late morning. I said I was going to be on time dropping my son off. I wasn't. I said I was going to meal prep and do all the good things for my body. I didn't. So I was already having a rough start to the morning. And then I go to the shoe store to get some shoes for this daytime talk show thing that I do. I go get the shoes, and by that time I was feeling all right, but I come out and my tire is flat. Womp womp, you know that feeling. And I instantly went into a panic because I haven't had a flat tire in so long. I'm like, do I have what I need? Do I have to push the car? Do I have to call AAA? What am I gonna do? So I'm in panic mode, and then I look up. And this is why this is a Feel Good Friday story. In the same parking lot is a tire shop. It's like, oh, it was just shining down on me that side. So I roll on over there, and there's a nice young man there waiting. Checked me out. Said, hey, can I help you? I let him know my tire was flat. I'm all batting my eyelashes and everything at him, and he's like, ma'am, you don't have to do all that. We fill up tires for free. I'll check it out for you. So he took care of me. Shout out to that guy. Appreciate it. We love to look on the bright side of things. So on the bright side, I did not have to do a whole lot to make it here to work. And I'm here today with you, my besties. And we're going to make sure you get a Feel Good Friday in, right? So starting off, here to discuss her inspirational book, Ladies Love Yourselves First. That's Happiness. She is on a national book tour. Kathy Kadori joins us. You are all about self-love, and I love that for us.
I do too.
Yes. All right. And I got to point out, you are in your breast cancer awareness pink, working it, girl.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. And I just want to make sure everyone is aware of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I had to represent.
Yes, indeed. So October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so you have your own story with that as well that really led you to learn about self-love.
Yes. So first of all, I wrote my first book during the pandemic in 2020. So of course everything was shut down. I never got a chance to really do a book tour. So it didn't get its just due. So now I'm doing a book tour.
Never too late.
It's never too late. And so this book was spun out of a very painful divorce that I went through about 5 years ago to what I discovered after therapy was narcissist. So after about a year of going through therapy and actually listening to the therapist and doing their suggestions, pouring into myself, taking myself on dates, which I never did before, doing for myself what I never did for myself, but I was doing for others, then I started to feel whole and complete, and out of that came a self-love, self-journey book.
Wow.
So yeah.
So were these suggestions from your therapist, or just over time you were like, I'm going to start doing these things for myself?
Suggestions from the therapist, but over time, a lot of us, we're not raised to pour into ourselves. And women were automatically natural nurturers, so we always give to everybody else, but we forget to give to ourselves. And so that transfers over into relationships where we end up giving so much in the relationship that sometimes we lose ourselves. So I went on a journey and learned who I was and got to do all the things and still doing the things that I love for me. And I just want to empower other women to do the same thing.
When you say we lose ourselves in relationships, what does that look like?
Losing yourself in a relationship means that you never prioritize yourself. Because we all want to be in love, we want to be married, so we go into it, just start giving. But when you first love yourself, if you ever get to do that, I hope people do, you will set boundaries. needs, and you will prioritize yourself as well. So you don't go into the relationship just giving so much. You make sure that you're taken care of as well.
So a lot of people might hear that and say, self-love, it sounds so selfish.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I always tell them about oxygen mask. For those of us who have flown, what does that flight attendant tell you? In the event that this plane goes down, you put your oxygen mask on first. And why? Because if you put on someone else's oxygen mask, you can die from oxygen deprivation.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to put yourself first.
What does self-love look like for you nowadays?
Oh my gosh, nowadays I'm a totally different person. I prioritize myself, I value myself, and that includes jobs and friendships as well. You know, I make sure that I'm not the one that's always giving, that people are pouring back into me, because I feel that relationships, it's like two glasses. If you pour into somebody else, you fill them up, they're overflowing and you're bone dry. So you have to make sure and keep a mindful eye on relationship that you're not just pouring into people, but they're pouring into you.
Do you have to have conversations with people to make sure that they are pouring back into you?
I do, but you know, now when you discover yourself, it's just certain things. It's almost like attractions. You don't even attract, or you're not even attracted to certain things. So most people that are in my small friend group are people that do the same stuff. They love themselves. They prioritize themselves. We treat each other well. Like for birthdays, we do exclusive things for each other. It's not just me giving to them. You know, at one point I was dealing with people, I'm always the one giving. I was the one traveling and taking care of them. And then when it's your turn, it's like, they're nowhere to be found. So now I have friends that actually value me and like I value them, so it's really equal. So that looks good. As far as taking care of myself, I make sure I get spa time every month. I make sure that every day I do something good for myself, whether it's eating good meals, healthy meals, or working out. I just make sure that I hold myself accountable.
It's amazing to hear.
Yes.
By learning to love yourself, you started attracting people who know how to love you too.
Exactly.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
We got lots more to get into,
Yes.
Kathy. Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll see you in just a few. We are continuing our chat with Kathy Kadori, author of Ladies Love Yourselves First. That's happiness.
Yes.
Okay, so for people who don't know where to start with loving themselves, what do you recommend?
I recommend doing a deep dive and maybe get one therapy session, because I'm a big fan of therapy, and I feel like you have to take it all the way back to get to who you are, you know, grounded. So a lot of times it goes back to our childhood, you know, how we were raised, what we saw, what we, you know, took in, and then whether we feel like we're worthy. A lot of it comes from we don't feel worthy of being loved or even loving ourselves. That's why you see a lot of women will say, well, I got to take care of my kids, I got to take care of my husband, I got to take care of all this stuff, but you too are valuable. So loving yourself just comes from recognizing that you too are valuable. You're the first one, you know.
Sometimes it's so hard when we go through things in life, divorce, same, that was a struggle. And you've also lost a son.
I did. So I lost my oldest son in 2010 to a motorcycle accident. We were extremely close. But you know, the funny thing about all of this is that when things happen in life, we don't connect the dots until sometimes something tragic happened, and then our mind goes back. When my son was like 8 or 9 years old, he could see. Kids can read your face if you don't. And he would always say, Mom, you got to make yourself happy first. Even as a child, he could see me doing for other people, and he would say to me sometimes, Mom, you got to make yourself happy first. So that didn't come fruition until I lost my son. And then I started thinking about myself, and then once I went through that divorce and actually went to therapy for about a year and a half, I came up with that title and incorporated what he said as a child, make yourself happy first.
Were you able to love yourself while you were grieving?
I wasn't able to do that. But the thing that helped me was I'm in a group called Angel Moms. I got into grief therapy right away and met some ladies, and we've been in that group ever since then. We meet still now every 1 or 2 months and just encourage each other and keep each other going. But the thing that really helped me is I had a wonderful relationship with my son, so I never really got depressed. But I knew I couldn't do it on my own. And I just think that with therapy, not just with grief, but divorce or anything, I know particularly in the Black community, because I've been a nurse for almost 30 years, we're not taught and encouraged to go and seek therapy. We're taught to try to carry this weight on our own. But I don't think anybody comes born ready to take on everything by yourself.
So even for people who may not be ready to go to therapy, or they have to find a therapist, it might be a good starting place to get in a group like you found.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, because I know, like, particularly I've been a nurse for almost 30 years. Most African-American people, we don't, we're not taught to go to therapy and get help. In fact, when I was being raised, most people were say, okay, you're crazy if you go get help. No, actually what I found in life is you're crazy if you don't get help, because you don't have the tools. Nobody has that, so you have to know that it's okay. I have a workbook journal. We can talk about it later, but my workbook journal actually is a therapy book. I wrote that after I went to therapy to kind of help people journal and write down your ideas and answer specific questions truthfully, so that you can start getting healing.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, starts. Yes.
Yeah, actual actionable items and questions to get those wheels turning about, why don't you love yourself? Like, how do you get there?
Right.
Was it difficult after you discovered that you were married to a narcissist to, I guess, to put the two and two together, as far as like not prioritizing yourself and not loving yourself properly?
It was. That was actually my second marriage. My parents stayed married until my dad passed away, so they were married like 40-some years. So I was raised in a married home, and I always wanted to make it work. So since my first marriage didn't work, this marriage, I went into it knowing that I'm going to be with this person until we die. So I ignored a lot of red flags early on, because what you do is you attract what you don't heal as well. So instead of me getting out of that first marriage, taking time for myself, possibly getting therapy, not dating, I attracted some of those same qualities in the other person as well. But you don't know that, because you're just so busy, you're in love, you don't look at that stuff, but you feel inside that something's not right. We all have an inner voice, but we silence that voice sometimes. So coming out of that marriage and going into that therapy, I knew I had to get it. It was hard. I would be sitting on the couch and just crying and crying and crying, and like, this stuff she's telling me is not going to work. But when I actually started doing it, it did work. I started filling up my cup, and then I began to feel full after some time.
And I know a lot of people might be, married to somebody who is a narcissist or has narcissistic qualities, or, a parent or somebody else in their lives.
Right.
How do you define that so that they can keep an eye out for those behaviors?
Red flags always start up in your gut. Like, you feel like, okay, something's not right, something's quite off. You have to pay attention to that and listen to that. But when somebody's always making you feel like everything's your fault, a narcissistic person, I can say in that marriage, my ex probably apologized a good 5 times out of 24 years of marriage.
Woo,
I was always the one apologizing just to keep the peace, and then he would say, well, I'm sorry too.
Wow, yeah, that's a narcissist for you.
But yeah, but just something, always your fault, always trying to not do what you want to do, but it's everything they want to do. Even on vacation, arguing about something stupid on vacation, like why? Like, you're just never happy. You're not going to be able to heal anybody else. You can only heal yourself.
Ooh.
If you don't have those boundaries, it will continue. Being married doesn't stop people from being who they are. And you can't make people go to therapy or change or recognize things. They have to want that for themselves.
And that'll put such a ding on your self-respect, your confidence, all of that. So yeah, that's definitely a step in taking care of yourself and doing that self-love work.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that we can do to incorporate in our lives to make sure that we're giving ourselves love? Happiness
truly comes from within, I believe. And I believe that when you fill up your cup, you're doing things you love to do, you're genuinely happy from the inside out. You can attract that happiness, but whether somebody else ever does that for you or not, you can do it for yourself.
All right, Kathy, I want more people to fill their cups up by finding your book and you on your nationwide tour. Where can they get that info?
You can go to Kadori.net. All of my information is there. All of the book tour information is there as well.
All right. Thank you for teaching us to love ourselves a bit more. You know what else I love? Some wangs. So we got Foxtrot Restaurant and Lounge coming up right after this break. Welcome back. It is Feel Good Friday, and you know how we do on Chatting with Chelsea. We make sure you know where to go to have a good time and also get some good food, right? So we are introducing you to the hottest sports bar here in Houston, brand new, a Foxtrot Restaurant and Lounge. We've got Chef Jimmy. We've also got the owner, Dorwin, here. All right, so what makes Foxtrot the hot spot?
What makes Foxtrot the hot spot? Well, let's start off, we got delicious food. We have 10,000 square feet of space. So we have 3 different rooms, which is a dining room. We have, which you know, people come in and dine in. This is more of the chill area. Then you have the game room, which has 9 screen walls, pool tables, ping pong tables, and also you have the stage room, which is also a lounge, but it has a stage in it where you can do comedy, live music, karaoke. So yeah, that's what makes it a little different.
Okay, I love it's spacious, no bumping elbows unless you want to. Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Very spacious.
Yes. All right, we got to get to the food, chef. So, what is one of the most popular items so far?
Well, right now we're gonna start off with our pink waffle.
What made you want to do a pink waffle?
Breast cancer awareness month.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We appreciate you honoring that. Okay, well, let me get a taste of that. Tell me a little bit about everything else we have.
We got the beignets with the pink drizzle.
Oh, now y'all do beignets for everybody who comes in the door?
Complimentary.
Complimentary beignets.
Complimentary beignets.
Whose idea was that?
That was my idea.
That was you?
your idea.
That was
Don't do that.
Let me hear both sides of the story. Okay.
Go ahead. Your side first. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I had to put them on I had to put them on the beignets that was up the street. I say, nah, we doing beignets better than this. I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give out beignets complimentary. You know, each meal.
All right. Well, it sounds like Chef Jimmy has another story.
Nah, that ain't how it went. That ain't how it went.
That's not how it went. Okay, tell me.
He know I've been wanting to do the beignets at any spot. But we can't. It was like a collective idea.
Okay, all right.
He mentioned it and he was like, you got to try the shiftless. He said shiftless. So be specific.
Yeah, at first
He said shiftless. Got the best beignets.
I said, no, we gotta beat Shipley's beignets because the ones up the street, they're so big.
Yes.
I said, man, we have to match that, but better tasting.
Okay. You said you could beat that because you're from New Orleans.
Yeah.
From the NO.
Yeah, born and raised.
Okay. When did you come out to Houston?
Like about 8-9 years ago.
Oh, nice. All right. So how are you finding it?
Oh, the economy is way better than Louisiana.
Nice.
For sure.
All right. So tell me, what do y'all do for your Feel Good Fridays?
What do we do? So what we do on Fridays, like for birthday parties, if you call and make a reservation and say, because we have this package where you get a free bottle of champagne if you book your birthday party with us.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it's a Bel Air Rosé, so Bel Air Rose.
Okay, so we get free beignets and champagne?
You get a free beignet. Yes, if you celebrate your birthday.
And the cheesecake.
And the cheesecake.
Nice.
If you celebrate your birthday with us.
Okay, I love that. All right, Chef, when you just want to feel good, what do you do?
I go to work and sell food. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, that's how he feels good.
Yeah.
He works.
Yeah, I work.
That is a
Get to the money.
work ethic
Get
for
to
you.
the money.
Okay. All right. What else can we expect over at Foxtrot? That was really good, by the way.
Yeah, you
I'm
like it?
stuff in my mouth. But yes, what else? Because I see some lamb, egg rolls here.
Boudin egg rolls.
Boudin egg rolls. Okay, let me get into it. All right.
With our Cajun cream sauce too.
Yeah.
House made.
How do you make these?
Oh, we roll them.
You roll them yourselves?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me
Stuff them and roll them myself.
Yeah. Everything you see here is one of our top sellers. Like everything on this table right here moves pretty quickly.
You're gonna definitely have to try the hot honey wings.
Okay. All right. You're giving me plenty of work to do. I'm into it. All right. So how is it working with you two? I can imagine it's fairly entertaining.
Yeah, it's not our first venture together. We've been together for about 5 years doing this type of work with each other.
Yeah.
Can I call y'all besties?
Ooh.
As well.
I ain't gonna lie.
You don't like that term?
I ain't gonna say bestie, but yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's locked in.
Yeah, definitely locked in for sure.
okay, that's what we call everybody on the show and everybody who's watching besties. So you have a bunch of new besties who are going to come see you at Foxtrot.
Okay, bestie.
That's a lot. A bestie is a lot. Bestie is a lot.
That's all right. You can't have too many. All right, Dorwin, when you want to have a good Friday, have a good time, what do you do? And don't say work like this one.
When I have I like to sit back and smoke my hookah and drink my espresso martini.
Okay.
That's what I like to do, and eat my beignet.
I wouldn't have guessed you as an espresso martini guy.
Yeah, that's my.
That's kind of a compliment, I think.
Yeah.
A compliment?
That's a
Nah, I don't know.
That's my
No,
favorite
that's
drink.
different. That's different, though.
The espresso martini is my favorite drink, made by GM. She's a mixologist. Her name Kelly Drake.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So she makes them for you. And then y'all also have a whole menu, bar menu.
Yes, we have a whole drink menu as long as a food menu, and we also pair our items together.
Okay, what's this number that you brought?
This is the Pink 75.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
it has pink vodka, guava, bobas, so it's breast cancer month.
Yes, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I love
yeah.
how you pinked it out to make sure that we raise awareness.
And we're donating each dollar that we make off that drink or the pancakes, and we donate it to a charity.
Nice.
Sisters Network Incorporated.
I love that. I love it. Is this a regular thing with your different business ventures that you make sure you're giving back to the community?
Yeah, got
yes.
to. Got to. That's
what's-
our blessing. You can't stop your own blessing.
Yeah. What's your
Gotta give
favorite?
back.
What's your favorite part about doing that?
It's very warming to see you giving back.
The appreciation from other people's
Appreciation,
enjoying.
you know.
That's good. Yeah, y'all got a lot of good vibes over there.
Oh, yeah.
For people who actually watch sports, I don't have time, but
Oh, yeah, we get a lot
y'all
of
have screens.
Yeah, we have like over 50 screens. We get a lot of New Orleans fans, a lot of Texans fans.
New Orleans in the building.
Cowboy fans. Myself, I'm a Cowboy fan myself.
Okay. Where can people make sure that they keep up with the events and things that y'all are doing?
They can visit our website at thefoxtrap.com, or they can visit our Instagram at foxtraphtx.
Okay, all right, you guys, check it out. I do highly recommend these wings here, and we'll see you on the other side of this break for our final goodbye. I want to thank our guests, Foxtrap and Kathy Kadori, for joining me today. Remember, you got to love yourself first and take care of yourself this Feel Good Friday. We'll see you on the next Chatting with Chelsea. In the meantime, follow us on social at Chelsea Show Fox. Until next time, Friday.